Okay, let's take a quick look. We just have so many of these here that go to grade 1 as their final grade. So we're going to not really go into detail with very many of them. And I think even the image I made here is stretched out. There's so many. So we have the Kawai grade music. So this is for learning different types of instruments, both wind and string instruments. So, flutes and pianos and everything. This one starts all the way at the bottom of level 16 and goes to level 1. So it's quite a few. Then we have the All Japan music, and then just music. And then if we go a few ones over here, we have the Yamaha grade, and I have sort of an asterisk beside the level 1 here. So let's look at why. So All Japan music and music both go to level 15, from 15 to 1, and then the Yamaha goes from 13 to 1. So these are all different types of music category certifications, but the one that just says music is more like a music history type of thing, knowledge about music. I think All Japan music is kind of like creative side of music, maybe. Um, that is a very vague description, I think. And then the Kawai grade and the Yamaha grade are both learning instruments and about music as a whole, and actually the performance regarding them. So I have the asterisks behind the level 1 on the Yamaha grade because on their site, at least in Japan, I think they have like worldwide tests. I'm not sure if they differ, but the Japan one does say that they are not currently holding the level 1, and it's been this way for like 15 years or something. So I did see some rumors. I haven't been able to confirm them that the level 1 is given to people who have shown in the real world there some sort of like a contribution to the music industry, but I don't know for sure how you get it. So that would be something to consider if you were, let's say, wondering if you would do the Kawai grade or the Yamaha grade for your music. Next, we have diving, which is also level 15, and basketball skill also goes from level 15 to level 1. So diving and basketball skill. And I think basketball skill would be like different types of shooting and different things in basketball, learning these skills maybe individually rather than like how well you do in, let's say, an actual game or event. Again, not going into these in too much detail. Solfege. Uh, shoot, I don't even remember what this was. It's I think this is also a musical one, perhaps. I should look that up, but we will look this up again. It goes from level 12 to level 1. We have the mathematics one that we've actually done some videos on. This one starts at the silver star and gold star. Technically, it starts at level 11, but the gold and silver star are basically like level 12 and 13. And then we have two sub levels, being sub-level sub-level 2 and sub-level 1, between before 2 and before 1 for the mathematics. The same basic setup for science. We have the pre-1 and pre-2, but we also have pre-3, pre-4, pre-5, and a pre-8. And this one also begins at level 11. This is one that we're actually planning to do. The pre-levels in this are generally, my understanding is that they're given out if you take the test and you score a score that is pretty good, but not sufficient for the actual level itself, which kind of makes sense, rather than like an individual level like it would be with the kanji or the mathematics. So with the other ones, the pre-1, for example, is its own level. So next we have the Kanji Kentei, which is one of the biggest, most impressive certifications in the entire country. So for basically kanji and Japanese ability, it starts at level 10 and goes all the way up to level 1 with two pre-levels, pre-2 and pre-1. And pre-1 is where it gets to the level where most people who even study very thoroughly won't be able to pass. Um, like I took this a couple times. I have not yet passed the pre-1 and the level 2. I didn't buy any like actual books or anything. I just did some app study and I passed that one chance. And it's actually a pretty hard test also. But the pre-1, it's like beyond Japanese basically. And then the one apparently is even much harder than that. So we'll talk more about that in other videos, I think. We have the like Japanese proverbs, which is a 10 to 1. Uh, Proverbs are also included in the higher levels of the Kanji Kentei, so that is, I don't know the details of what's on the proverb tests themselves. I might look into that at some point. Then we have music skill, more music. So music skill, I don't know exactly how this differs from the others. I think it's just a sort of a different governing body. And the music skill one goes also from level 10 to level 1 with pre-2 and pre-1. Next, we have English. So English, it's got a weirder setup. So it goes from until recently anyway, or actually currently at the time I make this video, the lowest level is actually level 5, and that goes from 5 to 1. But recently they added this this pre-2 plus, as well as in the beginning of next year, they're adding 6 and 7. And there's also the English Junior, Gold, and Silver. So those are technically different tests, but they're still in the same thing. So it's, it can look like it's 10 to 1. And then there's pre-1, and then there's pre-2, and pre-2 plus is like between pre-2 and 2, because I guess the jump from 3 to 2 is actually way too big. So English is one of the biggest tests, I guess, that a lot of people take. It might even have more people taking it than the kanji test. And I would say level per level, if you compare them, the English test is way easier than the kanji test um, because, well, the way I see it is if let's say you took a native English speaker who was not generally considered highly intelligent or studies very hard, and you gave them, let's just say, a mid-range test, there's a pretty high chance that they could pass it and maybe even get really good grades, perhaps even perfect. Whereas if you took, let's say, a pretty well studied or pretty well intelligent person in Japan and gave them well, let's say the equivalent of that test. So someone that you'd say would be relatively more educated, more smart in general, and gave them the same level on the kanji test. So a native person in Japanese, uh, will they pass or not? It's quite questionable. And especially if you go to the higher levels, I would say at least not without a lot of study beforehand. Whereas with the English one, if you gave it to a native English speaker, they would probably be more or less fine, even if they weren't necessarily, good at English in general. So that's just I would compare them that way. But yet the English one seems to be the I think it's the slightly more popular of the two. But the English and the kanji are the two probably biggest tests like this in the entire country. So I just wanted to go over those two in more detail. So that's 7 to 1 plus the sub and the sub plus levels, just 10 levels, and then if you include the junior below, it's another 3 levels, 13 levels of English. So then we go to Japanese, and this Japanese is actually it's contains sort of like more grammar, punctuation. It does contain some kanji stuff, and sort of the in Japanese we have this polite way of conversation and everything too. And that is tested on this kind of test. Some of the things that are tested here would be the same as on the kanji test, but the kanji test dives much deeper into the things that it focuses on, whereas this Japanese one, which is level 7 to 1 and no sublevels, is it goes over a wider range of things, but in general, it would be considered, I think, a lot easier than the kanji test. But yeah, this is another one. It doesn't seem to be have caught on nearly as much as many of the other tests in Japan. Next, we have calligraphy. There's actually two versions of this. One is for pens, and one is for like brushes. And this is actually level 6 to 1, and then there's a pre one that is included. So how pretty you can write your characters, your kanji, and so on. I don't think it's just kanji. It's probably at the lowest level, level 6. I think you just have to write like a short letter or maybe even just one word, and you can pass. I looked this up at one point. I'm considering maybe having my son take this, but the timing would be difficult, and the importance when compared with some of the other tests, it might be questionable. So next we have some linguistic ones. We have Vietnamese, which begins at level sub 6 for some reason. Was kind of strange. I didn't see any, or pre 6. I didn't see any pre levels within the Vietnamese. Spanish goes from 6 to 1. French goes from 5 to 1, but has a pre 2 and pre 1. German also goes from 5 to 1, but has a pre 1. Italian, Korean Hangul, and Thai all go from 5 to 1 and don't have a pre 1, but do have a pre 2. And so this is just a bunch. I started bunching them up because I had so many different, different similar type of. These are all like foreign language studies, similar type of certifications. So all these have the same level setup basically. And next we have news. So this is about being able to understand and convey the news. So if you're like a newscaster or something, you want to be a newscaster, you take this. This is also level 5 to 1 with a pre 2 in it. Next we have history. So I think this might include both Japanese history and world history. And I'm pretty sure it like kind of branches out when you get to the top levels, and you can like get level 1 of each or something. So this has a sub level 3, but doesn't have a sub level 2 or 1, which is kind of strange. You don't have in most other tests or anything. It's weird to see only pre 3. So beside from that, it's 5 to 1. And with branching, I think the branching begins at level 2, actually. I'm not entirely sure. Next, we have an ITC engineer. So it's just basic like programming stuff. There's a lot of different programming certifications that we actually have in Japan, but this is one of the ones that has these normal level systems that you'll see. There's lots like you take 1 or 2 tests and you get some sort of certification, but for the ones that continuously watch continuous growth, this is one of those. So it's also levels 5 through 1 with a pre 2 but no pre 1 or pre 3. We also have sake and shochu, which are both like Japanese alcohols, go from 5 to 1 with a pre 1. So I think this is possibly making them, or at least being able to understand and sort of separate out like what types of what types of alcohol sake is what. We also have the ski association, which has both ski and snowboard certifications, and both of those go from levels 5 to 1. Next, we have the International Knowledge Certification, and this is one that we're actually doing with the flag knowledge for basically like world social studies. So this one, there's various different types of tests for this. So right now we're doing the flag test. There's actually a geography test, a international famous people test, celebrities, scientists, politicians, and so on. And then they also branch out and have specific countries that they have tests on. I saw that they had Thai, Malaysia, America, France, Korea, and I think they also have Taiwan, which is comes up in the news a lot as a place that a lot of people, especially in Japan, should pay close attention to if they want to know what's going on. Anyway, each one of these categories has level 5 to 1, and once you get to level 1, you get like sort of a master certification in that category. So the master isn't like a separate test per se. Next, we have Chinese that begins at level pre-4, which is again kind of uncommon. Pre-4 goes up to 1 with a pre-1. So it's pre-4 and pre-1, but no pre-2 or pre-3. Strange. Russian, we have 4 to 1, and then quality assurance. So this is like program testing and sort of the I'm pretty sure this is for mostly digital products, but maybe there's also other products where they do quality assurance. This is also 4 to 1 with a pre-1 in between. And a lot of these, I should be sure to mention that a lot of these can be used for like actual job applications and that sort of thing, and most of them are. Next we have astronomy. So astronomy is also 4 to 1 with a pre-1 in between. Then we have biological classification, 4 to 1. So this is sort of a another science related one. I had not heard about it before actually looking into this, so I don't know exactly how powerful this one would be on like a resume or anything, but it sounds like you know what's going on anyway. So we have soccer or football 1. There's also futsal, which is kind of like a soccer with a lot less people. And I know the World Cup is going on right now, so there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, you can't call it soccer; it's football." But the weird thing is Japan has multiple words for this sport. There's at least 3, but the most common one that we have that we call it in Japan is soccer. So I know a lot of people like to call it football because you use your foot, and soccer is probably generally the American term for it. But in Japan, yeah, most of the time we call it soccer, and this is for referee skills. So if you want to be a soccer referee or football referee, and by the way, the American football in Japan, we call that like American football or amefuto. So it's neither of them are generally called just football. Anyway, yeah. So referee skills 4 to 1. Next we have bookkeeping. The bookkeeping one is actually pretty famous a pretty famous certification that a lot of people go for. This is just 3 to 1, I believe. So despite it being a popular one, there's only 3 levels to that. There may be like some beginner level that I'm actually missing here, but I'm pretty sure it's just 3 to 1 with no pre-levels in between. Then we have financial planning, intellectual property, and retail marketing. So all of these I just put together because they're the same setup, a 3 to 1. We have both service and reception and secretary ones. The secretary one I think is also pretty, a lot of people kind of go for it if that's the job that they're trying to get into. So just like with bookkeeping, the secretary one, this is like one of those skills that most people aren't going to get as a hobby, but directly because they want to use it for work. Unlike with the English one or the kanji one, where people will get them either for work or hobby or both, right? You're probably not. I mean, there's some people might be like, "Oh, bookkeeping is my hobby," or "I love financial planning," or whatever. But these ones are more for the professional scene only. So the secretary one and service reception also has a pre-1. So over here, financial planning, I think I just wrote those twice by accident. So you can ignore that. And then we have some more strange ones here. The Japanese castles and Kyoto tourism and culture. So these are all 3 to 1 with a pre-1. So you could say, you know, I am certified. I'm a pre-level 1 certified Japanese castle person or whatever if you have one. I'm not saying that I am. I've never taken this particular certification, but that's one of the ones that we do have. We also have whiskey and beer. There might be a lot of people interested in that. I don't drink myself, but that's 3 to 1. We have aromatherapy, which is only level 2 and 1. So this is, like I was saying in the previous video, when you only have 2 of these, like I kind of don't see the point, but 2 to 1. And then career consulting is also 2 to 1. So that is, these ones are, despite only having 2 levels, aromatherapy and career consulting, just you're level 2. So you it's level 2 sounds like you've worked pretty hard at it and you're already high up in the game, but that's the the lowest level you can get apparently. And next we have, this one is also from I think the same people who do the Kanji Kentei and or the Kanji certification and some others, but there's a reading and writing skills. So this is for both regular and business Japanese, I think. So reading and writing skills in detail. And what's interesting about this one, you'll see, is everything else I put here is to level 1, uh, with the possible exception of the Yamaha music grade, as we discussed. But this one, there currently is no level 1. And I believe the reason is because they haven't been able to make a test that difficult yet. So this one starts at level 4, has 3, 2, pre-2, or sorry, this starts, what is it, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess, level 5. It might actually start at 4, I'm not sure, I'll have to double check that. So I might have made this image a bit wrong. I'm pretty sure it was actually starting at 4, 4, 3, pre-2, and 2, and no 1. So that is the reading and writing skill one there. So I'll probably have to fix this up. And also the one over here that for whatever reason I wrote twice, I'll fix that up. And maybe we'll do another short video after this that just takes a big look at just how many of these different tests there are. And let me know if there's any that you think that you would want to take and what you think would actually be useful, and what like how much you'd like to actually have these, whether or not they're useful. Because I think having something like the kanji one, for example, or even the proverb one, it would be pretty cool just to have that knowledge and kind of be able to brag about the weird knowledge that you do have. Or, if you want to be a diver in the Olympics or something, or a basketball player, these are all things that you can go for. And so that is just a quick look at what there is. And I think, as I said, we'll probably do one more short video in this sort of series of what kind of tests there are in this setup. And then we'll be done with this for now. And if there's any that you really want to hear about, let me know, and we'll do a deeper dive into those. All right. Remember to like, subscribe, and level up.